Hey guys, welcome back to another testing video. Today we got a behemoth, a massive progression. This is going to be Bob's High Side Splits 3.0. I've been working on this based off of the original. So many of you guys seen the original. That's his version that made over $33,000 in one session and did not bust. If you are interested in seeing that original video, that's going to be down in the description below. Since then, I made Bob's 2.0. That one also did well, and I did a stress test on that as well, and it performed very good. Now, I've been working on this one because there was a couple problems with the original, meaning that it did have great recovery power, but it was a little too aggressive. So then I switched over and I made a 2.0. Well, that panned out well, but the recovery, it was suffering a little bit. It would take quite a bit of hits to get you back into a session profit. So I think today's version, continuing this little mini series on this strategy, I think today's version is going to be the absolute best. It's a monster of a progression. It has 58 levels of progression, and it doesn't get wildly out of hand as you increase the bets. There's another adjustment I made, and that's shifting around the bet placements and starting with double streak coverage versus starting with splits. And I made an adjustment so any hit on the high side will guarantee a profit. So there's not going to be any partial misses on this one. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and I will explain as we go. So this is the initial setup. We are using dollars as the unit size. Okay, so this is going to be Bob's High Side Splits 3.0, and I'm going to give it the full 90 spin survival test, and I highly doubt that it's going to fail. So this is probably going to be something that we're going to have to, I have since built it into the software, so it's probably going to be coming out pretty soon. I'm going to do a stress test on it. If you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comments below, because I don't think it's going to fail 90 spins. This is something we're going to have to throw thousands and thousands of spins at it to see if it can possibly break. So let's just go ahead and jump into the video, and I will explain as we go. All right, Bob's High Side Splits 3.0. We are starting with $1 on the 19-236 high numbers. Then we're going to go ahead and add, or no, we're going to spin right here. First spin, just $1 on the high side bet, and we got it. Start off with a nice win, repeat, spin again. This one, I changed around the sequence too. So not only is the progression very important, but also the sequence of where and when you place the bets is very important. So make sure you watch until the end. If it doesn't go through the whole cycle, I'll explain it and give it a overview at the end of the video. All right, so we're starting off hot, 3 in a row. And again, you could jump right into it. I decided to start at $1, and then once we get our first loss, then we could start the progression. But of course, we keep winning. And again, this is what's nice about this, because typically with high coverage strategies, the recovery rate is not that great. Also, with longer progressions, a lot of times when you have a long progression, it tends to be on a small coverage. This one's awesome because it covers half of the board. Okay, so let's see, we are up 5 is our high. We got our first loss. So once you get your first loss, you're going to go ahead and add a double streak. This is one of the biggest changes I made to this progression. And instead of starting with splits, because splits, they have such small coverage, we're going to start stacking those double streaks first. Okay, so we lost there. Now we're going to go repeat the bet, and we're going to go ahead and add another double streak right here. But now this high side bet goes to 2. And we get a 36 red. That's a nice $6 return. Now here's the thing. So we're up to $8 in profit. There's a couple ways to play this, okay? There's an aggressive way where it's just foot on the gas. That just simply means win or lose. you go up in the progression, and then you could set a milestone goal. Let's say you want to set a milestone goal of $20 increments. You could do that. The regular version is what I'm playing today, and that's just simply stay on wins, forward on losses, and anytime you hit a new session profit, you're going to reset. So we got a loss right there. We're going to go ahead and add the next bet in. And we are high as $8. And then the ultra, I would say the ultra conservative way would be to play this in a D. Allenbert style, meaning that on a win, you're going to ladder down, right? So on a loss, you ladder up. On a win, you go back one in the progression. That's ultra conservative way to play. So you can dice it up however you want. So we got another loss right there. So we're going to add another double street, and we're going to bump this up to $3. So $5 total bet at this point. And we got a $7 return, new session profits at $11. Okay, so we're going back to base and keep it safe. Again, this is kind of in the middle. It's not aggressive, it's not ultra conservative, but we're going to play it the regular way. So back to base we go. This is spin number 10. And honestly, guys, I know this is just a test, but I'm really hoping for a lot of losses on this, so we could get high into that progression to see what kind of recovery power this strategy has. We lost right there. We're going to go ahead and add a double street. This now goes up to a $2 bet on the high side. And 36 red. That's a $7 return. Let's check stats. New session highs at $17. Back to base level we go. And again, I gave you those options of playing aggressive, foot on gas, playing it the regular way and conservative way. Because when people talk about what's your best strategies, I get that a lot. Now, best is a subjective term, meaning my best strategy might be a very low volatility strategy, right? All right, we got a nice hit right there. We're going to reset again. 23 is new session high. So back to base we go. But like I was saying, volatility is what I deem best. I want low risk strategies, right? Some people, there's a nice win right there. Rebet, spin again. Some people want to make as much money as possible in the least amount of time, and they think those strategies are the best. So do you see what I'm saying? Is my best, your best, the person next to you's best? Everyone's best is different. It's subjective term. It just depends on what you like and how you like to play. Okay, so lost right there. So now we're going to go up to a $2 bet right here and then add in our first double street. All right, there's another loss. So we're going to repeat this bet. Now we go to a $3 bet, and we're going to add the second double street. Again, we haven't gone very far in this progression. We have high coverage. We got 50, little under 50% of the board covered. All right, great. Another loss. I say great because I really want this thing to be tested. So from 3, we're at 3 on the high side. We're going to hold that bet right there on the high bet. So let's see what we get here. And we get 28 black. 28 black is a nice $6 return. And we're at 21. We're not in session profit. We are not increasing. Again, I'm playing it the regular way. So I stay on wins. I go forward on losses. I reset in a new session profit. So let's spin again, see what we get here. We get another hit right here. We will be able to reset in a new session high. And we got it. There's a nice win right there. New sessions at $27. So back to base we go at a $1 bet on the high side. This is spin number 20. There's a nice win right there. Repeat, spin again. And another win. Again, you should be hitting on average, right? 50-50. And another win. I really like this one. I deem it one of my best that I've created, and well, not created. Bob originally created it. I made some modifications to it. All right, we lost right there. We leveled up, so we're going to add a $2 bet on the high side and add in our double street. See, that's why I like to focus my attention and time on strategies that are already working great. There's a $7 hit. We're in a new session high of $36. So again, we go back to our base level bet. Versus constantly putting new strategies. Some strategies are just not great. We got a loss there, so we level up to the next level, adding a unit on the high side. Double street goes in. That's how I see it. Why focus on a bunch of different strategies that suck? See, so that's the first time we hit that wasn't on a double street coverage, right? And you could see the bet was a $3 bet. We had 2 on 19 through 36, and then we had 1 double street. We missed that double street. We hit that 25, but we still got profit. So we're going to keep our bet right here and spin again. That's a big adjustment that I made from the last version. And there's another dollar win, so we're going to rebet, spin again. We're back at our session high of $37 because the previous session or modification, nice $7 hit. That's going to reset us. The previous modification, those were partial misses. So I made sure that this progression, this adjustment, this modification was going to make profit every time you hit a high number. Okay, so back to base we go. And new session profits at $44. We really haven't stressed. Bankroll. There's a loss, so we know what to do. Add a unit here. Put one on the double street. Another loss. So from a $2 bet on the high side, we go to 3 and then add in another double street. $5 total bet. Session high was at 44. 19 red comes in. Now we didn't have that covered, and you could see it still gave us a profit. Not a huge profit, but it still gave us a profit. So I like profit versus minus and of course pushes. So let's rebet, hold it here, spin again. And there's another loss. So we're going to repeat that $3 bet on the high side stays right there again. But we're going to add 1 unit on that 1922 double street. Spin again. And we got a $6 hit with a 27 red. We're at 42, not at session high, so we're going to hold our bet here and spin again. And 8 black is a loss, so we're going to repeat. We're going to go to the next level. We're staying at 3 again, but we're going to now go in and we're going to add in the overlapping double streets. Okay, so we're just going to add 1 more double street, but it's overlapping, making those jackpot numbers from 28 to 31, or 28 through 233, excuse me. Let's spin, see what we get here. And this is spin 30. All right, that's a $5 hit. We're not in session profit, so we're going to just repeat the bet, spin again. And we got a miss right there. We're going to repeat the bet. We're going to add in another overlapping double street. This is the last time we're going to keep this bet on the high numbers at 3. Okay, so $8 total bet. Very slow progression. It doesn't get out of hand too quick. 20 black comes in. That's a $4 hit. That was one of those outside numbers. I'm going to get over. If we get deeper in the progression, I'm going to talk about those outside numbers. So we're going to hold the bet right here, but you can see that 34th street, that 34, 35, 36, and the 19, 20, 21, those are going to be lower hits. But they're still going to gain you profit. So we did get a profit right there. Hold the bet, and spin again. Okay, so now that we have all the overlapping double streets in, we're going to move into the next highest bet sequence, right? So a double street is 6 numbers. We're switching over to quads, corner bets. So now we're going to add a corner bet right here, one at a time. And then we are going to bump this from a $3 bet now to a $4 bet on the high numbers. There's another miss, so we're going to repeat. We're going to add in the above corner. And then we're going to keep that high bet at $4. Again, spin. We're at spin 35. All right, 24 black came in. That's a $9 hit. We're not in session profit. Repeat this bet. We're going to hold it right here. $14 black comes in, and there's another loss. Another loss means that we go up and add one more corner bet right there. Again, all those inside numbers, they're going to stay at $1 a piece. And this high number stays at 4 one more time. And we got another loss. So super rough spot we're in right now. So this is what I like to see, especially when I test things out. So we're going to add in that one more corner, and then we're going to add $1 on the high side, putting it at a $5 total bet on the high numbers. So super long dry spell right now. Let's see if it can recover. And another low number. There's another loss. That's going to be the first time we are in a minus. So this is the lowest we've been so far, is -8. So we're going to repeat this bet. $5 stays on the high numbers. Now we're going to go ahead and pepper in a corner bet. One more corner bet. And another low number. All right, so the lowest we've been so far is -23. We're keeping track of our highs and lows. Repeat, we're going to add in one more corner. And then now we're going to keep this bet at 5 one more time. This is spin number 40. All right, so that hit one of those outside numbers, but it still paid us out 18 bucks. We're still -5. We're going to repeat, spin again. And we get 25 red. That's a $15 win. So we're up back to 10 bucks in profit. We're going to repeat, spin again. This is a negative progression, so you're only increasing on losses. Okay, so we got a miss right there. Now we're going to repeat this bet. Now we go 6 bucks on the high numbers, and we're going to start entering our streets at this point. We have not put all the corner bets down quite yet, but like I said, I methodically built this a specific way to ensure that every hit's going to be a profit on the high side. Okay, so we're going to put that first street in on that 34th street, and then we went up right here is now a $6 bet. All right, green number comes in. We're going to repeat this bet. We're going to stay at 6 one more time, and then we're going to add a street right here. Now, the reason why I added these outside streets first is to ensure that there's no partial misses. This is going to ensure any hit within the high numbers will give you profit. So let's spin again, see what we get here. And another loss. This is crazy. This is something that you guys bring up all the time playing this simulator app. Look to the left. You got 7, 5, 1, 4, 0. Look at how many low numbers in a row have came out. Okay, so we lost right there. So now we're going to repeat the bet. Oh, let me put that one back. We are going to bump this up to now $7. And then we're going to add in a street at a time. So now we just put in the 31 street, $21 total bet. Lowest we've been so far, minus 43. Again, super long losing streak. And we got another low number. Let me know, guys, if you guys seen this kind of behavior from this app. All right, minus 64 we're at. So we're going to hold our bet at $7 on the high side one more time. We're going to add in another street bet. We're at the we're a little halfway point, 46 spins. And look at that, guys, another low number. All right, so we are going to repeat this bet. Now we're going to bump this up to $8. We're going to add another street. And another low number comes out. This is crazy. All right. Well, this is exactly what I asked for, right? I said it earlier. I'm hoping for a long losing streak to see how it comes back. All right, so we're going to repeat. We're going to keep this at an $8 bet one more time. We're going to add in another single street. We're at a $25 bet. You can see the bets aren't getting super high, very slow progression, but let's see what if it could come back and recover. That's what we're really trying to see, if it has that resiliency. I can't believe it. Another low number. If it comes back from this, I would deem this one of my top of all time. All right, so we are minus 135 at this point. We're going to repeat the bet now. So we put in all of these street bets. Now we're going to shift back up to adding these corner bets in. So now that $8 bet goes to 9. And then we're going to go in between these, right? So we're creating all this overlapping potential jackpot numbers. So we're going to put that corner in. Now we're at a $9 bet on the high side. Wow. I really can't. Look at the board, guys. 4, 0, 5, 9, 1, 17, 12, 17. I'm not saying this can't happen, but this is very, very unusual. And I think it's very, very unlikely for this to happen. Keep that in mind. We're going to repeat this bet. We are going to keep our bet at $9 again on the high side and then add in another corner bet. I think what's happening right here is I'm breaking the roulette wheel. I'm breaking this app because it don't know what to do. Look at that. Another 11 black, or another low number. 11 black came in. Dropped again. So minus 190 we're at. And let me know, guys, if you guys ever seen this many in an actual casino, let me know. I think this is crazy, especially for this high of a coverage. All right, so we lost at that bet. We're going to repeat. Now this high bet goes up to $10. We're going to punch in another corner bet. This is spin 50. What do you know? Another 15, or another low number, 15 black came in. Let's see how low we are. We're at minus $220. This is absolutely absurd. Okay, continue on to the progression. I could understand, favoring one side, maybe get 2 or 3, get a high number, go back low, but to hit this many straight low numbers is insane, guys. All right, so we're adding another corner. We're still holding that bet one more time at 10 and spin, and let's see what we get here. Let me guess, another low number. Nope, finally hit it. After all those losses, finally hit it. Got a nice juicy win of $49. We're going to need quite a bit of wins at this point, only because of that long losing streak. But again, that's why I test, and I always stress, you want to test before you invest. Don't just see a system and just run with it. So we got the win right there. We're going to hold our bet, spin again. Let's see if we could get it on a nice winning streak. And of course, another low number came in. So we're going to repeat this bet. We were at $10. Now we go to $11 on the high sides. Now we're going into our lowest coverage bet, which are now going to be splits. That was the biggest change I wanted to make. So we're going to put in vertical splits first. So we're going to put this split, and now we're at a $11 bet on the high numbers. All right, $16 hit right there. Hold the bet, spin again. $31 black comes in. That's a nice $31 hit. Repeat, spin again. Finally getting some nice wins. All right, there's another hit. Repeat, spin again. We're at spin 55. And another hit. All right, that's a $49 return. We are minus $75. Couple hits, and we could get back into session profit after that super long dry run where we got all those misses. 23 reds, another hit. This is crazy. It just all of a sudden it just flipped sides. So minus 26 at this point. We're going to repeat the bet, spin again. Of course, we're not going to increase the bet, only on losses. 35 black comes in. And that's a nice juicy $43 return. We're back up into profit. We're not in session profit. So let's go ahead and hold our bet right here. Repeat, spin again. $34 red comes in. That's a nice $34 hit. Now we're in a new session profit of $51. Look, guys, we were at 44 before. So safest way to play this, or not safest, I would say like that medium tolerance is how I'm playing it right now. So let's just go back to our base level bet and reset. Back to 1. Again, this is why I think, because it has so many levels of progression. We got a 4 black there. Because it has so many levels of progression, I really feel like playing this with a milestone goal, setting those goals of, $10, $20, $30 increments, whatever you choose. I think that might be the best way to play these longer progressions, especially with this one because the coverage is so high. Back-to-back 4s, back-to-back losses. So we repeat. Now we go to 3 here, add another double street. And look at that. Today's session is bipolar. It started low, shifted high, now it's going back low. All right, so 3 we stay at again. We're going to punch in another double street right there. This is spin number 60. We got 30 spins to go. We'll wrap up the test. There's a loss right there. So now we hold the bet at $3, add in the overlapping double street. And we got a $4 return right there. Hold the bet, spin again. And that 4 keeps popping up. Repeat the bet. Again, high numbers stay at 3 again. Add in that double street. Look at that. It's missed that high side again. 2, 4, 6, 7 times in a row. All right, so now we have all those in. We're going to go ahead and bump this up. Oh, I wasn't even at a $3 bet. Okay, that was my fault. That should have been at a $3 bet those last 3 spins. So now we're going to bump it up to $4, and we're going to add in our corners. Okay, so this corner goes in first and spin. Let's see what we get here. All right, 22 black is a hit. $10 coming back. We're going to repeat, spin again. There's a miss right there. So this bet right here stays at 4 again. We're just going to add in 1 unit on that corner. We're at spin 65. Another loss. This sequence of spins today, I mean, I've been using this app for a long time. I haven't seen it quite do this. Okay, so we lost right there, so we're going to keep it at 4 one more time, but we're going to add in one more corner. And again, low number. Absolutely insane. Okay, repeat. We're going to add in another corner. This now goes to a $5 bet. There's a $2 hit right there. Repeat. Spin again. And we got 26 on that one. We're up 35. Repeat. Spin again. 36 red comes in. And $11 coming back. We're at 46. Not quite in session profit. We're going to repeat. Spin again. One more hit right here. We should be able to reset. All right, $17 coming back. New session high is at $63. That was spin 70, so we go back to our base level bet. We got 20 more to go. There's a nice hit right there. Repeat, spin again. And now it seems like it shifted over to the high numbers. Nope. Spoke too soon. That 4 black came up again, so we're going to repeat, bump up that bet, add in the first double street. Again, guys, you guys could place the double streets wherever you want. The biggest change I want to highlight is once you get to those street bets, you want to put them on those outside streets first, just to ensure that you're making profit on any high number hit. We lost again right there, so we're going to go add another double street. This now goes to a $3 bet. Sorry, last sequence, I had it at a $2 bet for some reason. 27 red comes in. All right, we got a $7 return. Let's see, we are at 67, and yeah, that's new session high. So let's back it up and go back to our base level bet at $1 on the high bets, or on the high numbers. 67 is new session high. Repeat, spin again. All right, 69 is new session high. Loss is going to trigger us to put in a double street in. Bump that up to a $2 bet on the high numbers. $1 coming back. Repeat, spin again. And we got a nice $7 return. We are going back to our base level bet. We are in a new session high of $76. That was spin 80. All right, there is a nice win right there. And another win. So yeah, you guys could see this, right? So it's not just me, right? It's literally changing its mind, going on streaks on the high numbers, going on streaks on the low numbers. And I've seen some long streaks, but I've never seen it do it like this. So we're gonna go bump these up, and we are at 77. 78 was our high. We're back at our high, but let's hold the bet here. Spin again. Got another win. Repeat. Oh, no. We're going back to base. We're in a new session profit of $85. 35 black comes up. It's $1 coming back. Repeat. Spin again. There's a loss, so we go up one there. Add the double street in. There's another loss, so we're going to add in another double street. This now goes to a $3 bet. And we're just about ready to wrap this up. 22 black comes in. There's a dollar hit. We're going to hold the bet here, spin again. And look at that, guys. That 4 came up again. All right, so we are going to go and punch in one more double street. Again, we're going to hold this bet one more time at $3. This is our last spin. This is 90 spins. I probably went a little over, but again, trying to give this the full test. All right, so we ended up on a win. We ended up at $84 in profit. The highest we were at was $86 in profit off of that massive run. Just to go over some things with you guys, that was a huge, massive losing streak. With that kind of high coverage, I'm not saying it's impossible. I've personally never seen it playing online, nor have I seen it go that long in an actual brick and mortar casino. That being said, we did on this session, we dipped down minus $220 into our bankroll. It did recover. I don't even think we got past, we didn't even get close to the halfway mark of these progressions. So I'm going to just go over the progressions so you guys could see the full progressions, and I'm going to have in the link down below, I'll have the full progression. And you know what? I'll probably put a pinned comment at the top too. That way you guys can follow along, because the sequence does matter. And then I just remembered one thing I didn't follow exactly was the corner bet placement. But let me just go over everything, right? So we're going to go in at 1 here. You lose there. You're going to start adding. Next is your double streets. And then you add all your double streets. I'm not going to go over the progression for the high side. The progression is down below. So what you see is that 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4. All of that is for the high bets only. Everything inside is only going to receive $1 unit or whatever your unit size is. So after you put your non-overlapping double streets in, then you're going to go in between, put your overlapping double streets. From here, now you jump to the corner bets. This is what I was talking about earlier. So looking at those 19, that 19th street and then that 34th street, those are to keep every bet to make profit. When you hit a high number, you want to cover those areas first. So of course you're going to add in that one, then you go the next corner, and then I should have went over here and then added these ones, then go in the middle, add those next corners, and then from there you're going to add in, from there now we jump to the streets. Streets, again, starting from the outside, doesn't matter what side, but you want to cover those because instead of partial hits, they're going to be profits. So punch in now your streets, then you go outside first, and then the order doesn't really matter. Then you go ahead and punch in all these every time you get a loss. Now from here, you're going to jump back over to the corner bets and then just fill in the gaps. So then they go in like that. Next, you're going to go to vertical splits. Again, vertical splits, you want to start on the outside, put into there, put into here, and then you're going to fill in the rest, right? And then after this point, we are going to shift to putting in those horizontal splits. Again, none of these inside bets are ever going to change in unit size. They're all going to be 1 unit each. We're just stacking them to create those jackpot numbers, okay? Then you're going to punch in the horizontal streets, right? Outside first, just like this. And again, these are non-overlapping from this initial wave. Then you're going to go in and you're going to go in between. So then once you have all of this filled out, this right here is max progression for all the inside bets. At level 48, you have max coverage inside. At level 49 is when you keep that bet placement there, and then you finish out the last 10 levels of the progression. The last 10 levels of progression will be a $21 bet on the high numbers, then it goes up 23, 26, 30, 35, 41, 48, 56, 65, 75. Just wanted to paint that out clear for you guys. Let me know if you want to see this against the software, against the stress test, because I don't think I could simulate this long enough using this app to run it against thousands of spins. And again, everything that I show on the software app, all of those are real casino collected spin data. It's not this, like for this app, it's just random computer generated numbers. It doesn't paint a real world picture. That's why I like to run them against real casino spin data. I take from my personal casino that I use often, and that way I get a real feel for it, because I've been duped in the past, and I've done testing using this app, and then I go take it to the casino and I get smacked in the face, thinking it was good because it worked on this app. And then vice versa happened to me, right? Where I'm like, man, it's winning all kinds of money, great, and then it just absolutely tanks, right? So with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. And if you do want to see the stress test, let me know too. I do have it built, and I can run a stress test on that to see where that breaking point is. Again, 2.0 did very good. The original did very good. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this. And of course, till next time, be cool, stay cool, peace.